Hello, good day. The 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Oh my, isn't time flying? In the first reading, Sirach chapter 35, verses 12 to 14, and then 16 to 18, the author states, "The Yahweh is not unduly partial toward the weak, yet He does hear the oppressed, the orphan, the widow, the lowly, always affirming what is right." In other words, those who are powerful because they have earthly resources on which they can depend and use what they have at their fingertips. But those who are without earthly resources have God to call upon to obtain what is just and right. The gospel reading this Sunday, Luke chapter 12, verses 9 to 14, starts off, Jesus addressed this parable to those who were convinced of their own righteousness and despised everyone else. The Pharisee starts off by thanking God that he is so much better than the rest of humanity. However, it is not what God does that makes him so much better, but what he does. It states in the gospel there, the Pharisee saying, "I fast twice a week. I pay tithes on my whole income." Tax collector, however, has much to be sorrowful for, but he puts himself in the hands of God's mercy and power. When God does it, it is truly done. When we think we do it without God, it's a mirage. If we please ourselves and not God, we are lost. If we please God, no matter what others think, we have truly accomplished something. In the second reading, 2 Timothy chapter 14, verses 6 to 8, 16 to 18. And now there's certain verses there that have been dropped by the church in selecting this. We'll need to come back to some of those missing verses. Paul sees himself as having been poured out as a cup of sacrifice, and now he is empty. He sees the Lord as ready to award him, and all who have longed for the Lord's appearance, reward them with the crown of righteousness. And Paul goes on to relate how the Lord stood by me and gave me strength, and I was rescued from the lion's mouth. And 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14, that section that was left out. Paul relates that Alexander the coppersmith had done him great harm. Paul insinuates that he had to defend himself against Alexander the coppersmith. The Lord will rescue me from every evil threat and will bring me safe to his heavenly kingdom. To him be glory forever and ever. Amen. Paul proclaims his absolute dependence on God. It is to God's glory that we are saved. We are made holy. We are rescued from the evils of this world and from our own self-righteous inclinations. Glory be to God and all the wonderful things that he does.